Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Stefanie Drysdale's weekly cybersecurity recap number 54 for Friday, January 15th, 2021. Stefanie Drysdale, VP of Cyber for Prescient.com. Welcome back.
Thank you, Chuck. How are you?
I'm well. How's 2021 starting out? It's a little bumpy, but tell us what's going on.
Yeah, in with a bang for sure. I'll just jump right in. Lifewire.com this week, I shared an article of theirs showcasing the 9 best photo vault apps of 2021. These aren't just for photos, they're for videos, messages, sometimes PDFs or audio or other files. They're password protected, sometimes disguised as another app like a calendar or calculator or just an empty folder. Some come with decoy passwords that you can throw in there, separate passwords for each folder, break-in alerts, cloud backups. They listed apps like iOS Vault or AppLock, Discrete Vault, Keep Safe, Vault Hide, also hidden folders and built-in options and private and secure folders that come preloaded with either your iPhone or your Android, some Androids. So choose the one that definitely has the features that you require and you prefer, factoring in your specific use case and the level of protection that you need for your photos. These aren't just for nudes, they're for your driver's license photos or anything else that you happen to keep safe on your phone that needs a little extra protection other than that picture of your lunch. So be sure to check those out. CIO.com shared the role of CISOs in 2021 from risk mitigation to business enabler. Really helpful to have kind of this roadmap for 2021 on what's on the horizon and what we need to be looking for. It talked about supply chain hacks like SolarWinds having gone undetected for nearly a year, sorting out that kind of damage for each company that was associated with it. Ransomware becoming an even more popular business model, using multi-staged attacks that start with accessing a password and then creating a backdoor to the rest of the network before deploying the malware and ultimately the ransomware. Talked about remote workforce attacks, using bring your own device and phishing scams to get people to click, insider threats caused by devices, other devices like games or other computers or IoT devices on someone's home network, remote access, stolen credentials, sometimes access through the provider. So we all remember the Twitter hack this year. Work anywhere, maintaining productivity while keeping everything in the cloud safe. So cloud security is very important going into this year as well as unknown threats that we have yet to really realize with the speed of 5G becoming such a big deal and more prevalent. So CISOs have a super tough job always. Definitely this year is not going to be any different. So really important that we all become cyber savvy and just support their efforts and help them fortify. So CyberNewscom shared best alternatives to Gmail to protect your privacy. We all know that Gmail is super convenient and they have the muscle of Google to protect you. Great security protocols there. But a lot of liberties are taken with your data there, as well as there always being quite a large target on the back of such a popular company such as Google. So they had 10 good suggested alternatives to Gmail, really helpful. All of them offered end-to-end encryption and open source code and some other features. So maybe you don't need to migrate everything over to a different platform, but if you're sharing something especially sensitive, PII or PHI or some kind of formal document or something, maybe it would be good to have a backup Proton email or something along those lines. So check that article out. InfoSecurity magazine shared this week that the world's largest illegal dark web marketplace was taken down. We say this all the time, but just when the biggest one comes down, then another one takes its place and then becomes the new biggest one. This one was called Dark Market, had almost 500,000 users, as well as 2,400 vendors that were selling everything from stolen credit cards to SIM cards to malware, illegal drugs. At least 320,000 transactions were carried out on that platform, totaling more than $170 million in cryptocurrencies. So glad to see this come down, and very well done to law enforcement on this one. We also learned this week about a new IRS scam that was targeting people's stimulus checks. So a reminder that the IRS will never just call you or message you on a social media app, and you're going to get a letter in the mail requesting to speak with you. Lots of COVID-related scams, unemployment-related scams we're hearing a ton of lately. Always go to the source. Always make sure that you're dealing directly with the actual organization and never just reacting to whoever reaches out to you. Again, I'll plug, it's always good to have credit locks and freezes and notifications on all of your bureau accounts, as well as any of your financial accounts related to credit cards or banking. Really important stuff. Bob Carver shared a ZDNet article this week about some ransomware gangs are going after top execs to pressure the companies into paying. They're threatening to disclose often unknown breaches that the company's not been yet made aware of that may or may not actually be a breach, or to expose embarrassing photos or messages. Oftentimes they're bluffing just to get you to pay the ransomware, but it is always better to notify your team, and in certain cases, law enforcement, to determine if a breach actually has occurred and to what degree. Don't just take the criminal's word for truth. That's not ever a good thing to do. And again, if they're talking about embarrassing photos or videos or things like that, I know some people are hesitant to reach out to their security teams, but it's far better to reach out to, an internal trusted person than it is to just, pay the ransom and find yourself in a much more precarious position. So really good article there to check out. Alexander Blanc shared the 7 cybersecurity breaches in 2020 and how they could have been prevented. Obviously, this is a case of coulda, shoulda, woulda. After the fact, it's really easy for us all to look back and see where everything went wrong and what we could have done perfectly to prevent it all. But we can learn from the lessons of the past and take away something important. Talked about the bigger breaches this year having to do with third-party infiltration, internal network security, VPN security, device authentication, updating your user permissions, limited access, infected device authentication, and I'll add cyber due diligence to the M&A process to assess those cyber risks. That Marriott breach was an inherited risk that they purchased. So really, really good to take those takeaways and kind of implement them into your roadmap going forward to make sure that the information that you're taking into 2021 is protected. And Chuck, I saw this week that you are launching an initiative to help job seekers. Tell me about this.
Yes, I'm working with the Kindness Games, which is a really great organization. And they've really just kind of come up with this idea of let's try to help people out. My contribution was, I make videos all day long. I did 800 videos last year. And I said, why don't I just donate some of my time to people that are out of work? Because there's a lot of people in our industry that have been placed out of work. So I'm just going to make a free 5-minute video resume, ask some questions, kind of bring your personality out, bring out your problem solving and thinking abilities, and put that on LinkedIn and say, hey, Miss Stephanie's looking for a job. Let's try and help her out. And by the way, we know you're not looking for a job. I just said that as an example. So that's what we're doing. And I think we had our first person sign up just last week, and I think it's going to be successful. And I'm so happy to help people out because I was out of work myself, which is why I reinvented myself and created this show. And I know how it feels. And so I hope people take us up on that. So if you know anybody out there that is looking for a job out of work, I'm going to help them out by making a free video resume. We call it Resume Roundup. That's the name.
I love this. This is such a great thing. I get so many people reaching out to me, telling me that they're open to looking for new positions, or they're actively looking. And it's sometimes so hard to connect the job seekers with the people who need them. So this is wonderful. I love to hear this. What a great idea.
Thanks. And I hope people take us up. So contact myself through this post or through LinkedIn or Miss Stephanie, and go to calendly.com/SGTV. So it's Calendly. I can't even pronounce it. Calendly.com/SGTV, and you'll see the show on there.
Excellent. I love that. Be sure to reach out to Chuck. And that's what I have for you this week. I hope everyone is doing well and staying nice and cozy. We have a snowy day here in Chicago. So hopefully you have a great weekend, and I will look forward to seeing you all next Friday.